A lot of times I'm in a classroom situation and I hear my students say, I don't can do that, or I must to go, or I must going. What's wrong with these sentences? I'm Dan from English Sellers, and I'm here to help you with your grammar. The problem with those sentences are can and must are what we call modal verbs. In English, we have 9 modal verbs: can, could, may, might, must, shall, should, will, and would. Now, to be fair, shall is mostly used in UK English. We don't use it very much in American English. But whenever you use any of these modal verbs, they have 4 unbreakable rules. The first rule of modal verbs is that they have no other forms. There is no past tense of must. There is no third person S with the verb cans. You cannot say he cans or I musted. There is no other form of these verbs. Rule number 2 with these modal verbs is that they have no helping verbs. So you cannot make a sentence like I don't can or I don't must. Do not is a helping verb to make a negative. Now with a normal verb, I do not go or I do not play is fine. But with a modal verb, that doesn't work. The modal verb forms its negative simply with not. I cannot, I must not, I may not. The third rule of modal verbs is that they are always followed by a bare infinitive. As you've learned in your English studies, an infinitive is a verb with the word to in front of it. To eat, to play, to swim. A bare infinitive is simply the base form of the verb swim, eat, go. And whenever you have a modal verb, you're always going to have a bare infinitive after it. Not I must going or I must eating, but I must go or I must eat. The fourth rule of modal verbs is that you cannot use them together in a single verb phrase. I often hear my students say, I must can do this. The problem is must and can are both modal verbs, and you can't put them together. So the two that are most often needed together with another modal verb are can and must. Therefore, we often replaced can with be able to, and we often replace must with have to. And this leads to sentences like, I must be able to, or I will have to. So that's our grammar tip for the day. I hope that helps. If you've got any grammar questions you'd like to ask, just drop us a line and maybe we can put it into a future video. And be sure and hit that like button. Thanks a lot.